This is the news from Moscow. You're listening to simultaneous interpretation from the Russian by John Glad. Good evening. You're here on Channel 1, the informational television agency. Today in our program we have the following news. In Tbilisi, the opposition has taken the capital house of Mr. Gamsakhourdia, who has escaped. A speech by Patriarch Alexei II. Military who have refused to swear allegiance to Ukraine are being sent to Russia. We're having a scandal over humanitarian aid and Bush's Pacific trip. Today, after 15 days of battling, the State House fell, but the bunker where Gamsakhourdia was is empty. He utilized the only exit, which was intentionally not blocked by the opposition. Tengiz Kitovani, who was the head of the National Guard, declared at a press conference that there were more than 40 hostages in the house who were being tortured. What's happened to Gamsakhourdia himself? Roughly 9 in the morning, a column with a car in which Mr. Gamsakhourdia was located crossed the border. They reached the city Ganja and temporarily stopped there. Azerbaijan was not informed about Gamsakhourdia's arrival, and there was no talk of providing him political asylum. At roughly 3 p.m., Gamsakhourdia went to the city of Ijevan in the Republic of Armenia. From Yerevan, we know from tests that the president's Mercedes, accompanied by 2 Volgas and 2 Nivas, is close to the city of Ijevan, a capital, but we have no confirmation of these reports. So we're waiting for news from Tbilisi. Here we have Mr. Amanidze, who left the State House just before the New Year on the 29th, when I was to be tried, and likewise Juashvili and Abuladze. I was accused of not shooting, giving the order to shoot. I said, whom should I shoot at? Which enemies? He had intended to leave on the 19th, but he was held back by insults which were directed toward him from the entourage of Gamsakhourdia. How could Gamsakhourdia have disappeared from that bunker? What are your thoughts? He could not possibly have escaped. I think this is explained by the honorable nature of Tengiz Kitovani, who, up to the very end, did not want to spill blood. There will be a trial, according to Mr. Razmadze of Gamsakhourdia. The totalitarian regime in Georgia and opposition and its conflict is an internal affair of the Republic. We now have telephone contact, and we asked if the new military government could be considered a coup. Sigwa said, we have the participation here not only of military forces but of the people. The main thing, the people have arisen against this regime of Gamsakhourdia. In only 1 year, he managed to create a totalitarian state. What's going to happen in Georgia now? One of the leaders, Jaba Asiliani, said that the council would lay down its powers after the new president was elected. Now, for now, there is a presidential consulting council, and the elections will take place in the spring. Asiliani did not exclude the possibility that Shevardnadze would be participating in speeding up democratic processes. This is Mr. Shevardnadze. I am prepared to take part in the process of democratization as much as I am able to. When the conflict commenced there between the totalitarian regime and the democratic forces, when the first victims appeared, I offered my services in mediation. and said I was prepared to take part in this process. We will have the full interview after our program with interview with Mr. Shevardnadze. This says News 1. In Minsk, the agreements reached will be tested out in republics. So we might lose one of the links in the agreement. I have in mind the army. Today, Ukraine is conducting a swearing in of the oath of loyalty to Ukraine. Vladimir Nikolaevich, Ukraine has declared that the Black Sea Fleet is being transferred to its jurisdiction. Does that correspond to the Minsk agreements? I can state unambiguously, no. This is a violation of these agreements. The naval forces, which are part of strategic forces, do not enter into those forces which can be declared anybody's national property. Any sovereign state has the right to armed forces, and that includes the navy. Does Ukraine have that right? I consider Ukraine not only has a right, but I support that right and that desire. However, to resolve the question as to what this navy should be, we have to formulate our tasks. I consider that, first of all, that might be protection of the national border. That is a border service. The second task is the struggle with contraband and smuggling, which is a problem for all naval states. When we have thus formulated our tasks, we can now ask ourselves the question, what sort of navy we have? The Ukraine needs the type of navy. Does it need the kind of navy which has a strategic abilities and potential, and which is fulfilling important functions for all the states of the Commonwealth, including Ukraine? This is the protection of the inviolable national borders. Interfax states today that the first 100 soldiers who refuse to serve Ukraine will be sent to Russia, where they were recruited. The tenseness created by the Ukrainian statement is now being increased by the generals who don't lose their powers. This is according to Rio. More than 80% of the officers have agreed to swear loyalty. From Sevastopol, we have a bit of some news that there are political meetings at which the sailors are demanding that the navy not be handed over to Ukraine, but that the navy be maintained for all the members of the Commonwealth. So they have turned to address to the other bodies that the decision of Ukraine be recognized as illegitimate. Yes, the army is having a hard time. And in this situation, it's important for us to know the position of the command of the armed forces of the Commonwealth. As I understand that you represent the official point of view. What is the mood like in the army? It's very complex. In the forces of the former Soviet Union, today's Commonwealth, a soldier who was born in Tver or Komna and who has been sent to Poltava, Vinnytsia, or Fergana, whom should he swear loyalty to? Whose laws should he observe? Who will take responsibility for his fate, for his social situation, for his pension, for his housing, salary? So there are a lot more questions than ready answers. But we have to search out those answers, and very quickly. This is a very complex, fateful time for our homeland, and we have decided to ask our officers us what they think. And with that goal, on the 14th of January, we are calling an army meeting of officers. And what can it resolve? This is not a political organization and not a service organization, but a social organization, a body. The maximum which it might do would be to develop acceptable recommendations for our political leaders with regard to adopting a professional resolution of the situation. After Russia, Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan freed up prices. One of the measures of social protection are the so-called family cards, which provide the bare minimum of foodstuffs. Ukraine and Belarus have declared that this is not enough, and they have coupons. On the 1st of, they're going to have, Moldova is going to follow their example. There are negotiations being conducted with a French company for printing Moldavian lei. So the ruble is going to have an even harder time soon. Well, what is the situation like in our country? The prices are the topic number one today for the press. People are concerned not on prices, but are concerned about the